A little bit later, because probably the most important is to start the session as soon as possible, and then after the session is done, for those who are not involved that much into our meeting, they can go and enjoy wonderful weather in Dublin, and we will stay here to continue. But with that being said, we have here Bror Salmoling, who will just give a few introduction or the welcoming speech for all of the participants. So,
thank you. Well, it's a short speech, so very few notes and no slides. Because what I would like to bring you some ideas about open innovation in the context of innovation management, in the context of what is actually happening all around us. Yesterday, World Economic Forum produced the statistics about European countries' competitiveness. And it is actually very interesting when you put a bit more thought in that. As in so many statistics, you have the best ranking countries up in Northern Europe. You have Holland and you have Germany, and then the rest follow. But link that to another statistics of happiness of people. The United Nations has done that as well. And suddenly you find a strong correlation between happiness of the people, competitiveness, and innovation. And that is what I would like to link all this to innovation management. Innovation management is very much, as Parul said, creating the right ambience, the positiveness, the encouragement to stick the neck out, try and experiment, and really to move from management, to move from control to something which is catalyzed. And that is what I would like to give as a strong message to the open innovation community. Think about how you can show your power in your own organization by catalyzing. Usually in those type of organizations, the only way of showing power was to inhibit and block things. But the world is really totally changed. The competition statistics also tells that there is something in the societal model of interaction between the various actors. Well, we have spoken quite a lot about quadruple helix approaches where we have public-private people partnerships. One of the big challenges for open innovation is really to change the mentality fully from something which is organization-driven to something which is more task-driven. What I claim is that in very short time from now, well, relatively short time, I'm optimist, we will see more and more organizations which are ad hoc shaped based on the tasks which are to be performed. We won't see traditional hierarchical structures, perhaps in the EU administration, but nowhere else, not in the real world. So it's really about openness for the change, but also courage for the change. And you are clearly that community which is, I think, the lighthouses for the change. Dare to stick your neck out, dare to be the lighthouse, bringing the light. Bring the curiosity and courage for innovation into your own spheres. I hate the word organizations. We are well, I will conclude actually my remark by really saying innovation is something to find new things in between the old. Think about ecosystems. Think about those interactions and forget ecosystems. That is what we have until quite recently. Move from ecosystems to ecosystems. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But with that being said, our OINET partners, I hope you all check the program. So tomorrow in the morning, we're going to Open Innovation 2.0 conference. And so thank you so much for the invitation, and I hope it will be very wonderful for both of the sites and both of the networks. So now probably I will pass this to Anna. So Anna can start our session and tell a little bit more what we plan to do with that session. And probably it's better.
And I excuse myself to be ready for the conference tomorrow, so welcome there.
Thank you, bye-bye. I was sitting in front and couldn't realize how many people were here. So, yeah, thank you everyone for those who really choose our session to be in the afternoon. So, I guess we have two number of people, as those who are still at the conference, and special thanks to those who after 3 working days still find strength to be with us. And most of welcome to those who just came to Dublin as part of the Open Innovation Network. What we're going to do is, it's a rare case when I want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Actually, as part of Open Innovation Network, we want to create some best practices in teaching. And as a teaching SIG on ISPIM special interest group, we also want to get together teaching practices. And we thought, how are we going to do it? Assuming it's 3 p.m. and everybody's just very, very tired and nicely sleepy. So not to let you sleep. So what we thought is we put together, and I hope you have seen the program, 8 people, and give them really 10 minutes, and using the idea or the metaphor of a market square when craftsmen bring their best what they have. So we really want to do to be very, very tough in terms of time, and I won't use this time yellow card, I just use red. We're going to video our participants, so I will inform them about that. I said you have to be really good, we're going to video you. And by telling 2 birds with 1 stone, so we're going to use the material for this, for ISPIM and for Open Innovation, both websites. Hopefully you'll be very comfortable with it. So, so what I'm going to do now is I go through the speakers, like one by one, so that we know who is speaking after. And then the speaker is coming in front, and their task was to share within 10 minutes what best they could do. I actually asked them to speak a little bit of the learning outcomes, what their practice teaching exercise is targeting at, but it's our first trial, so don't be hard on us. So we were piloting a little bit. Can we really exchange teaching experience and keep it moving? So we really build something together in terms of the best teaching practices and exchange it thoroughly. So this is a little bit of a trial, a little bit of a pilot, and so bear with us. Are you all right about overall the sessions? So then let's make it a little bit of a marathon and a little bit of a run. So the first group to start would be Antara. So then would be Catherine, and special thanks for Catherine to bring those nice chocolates, and after the session you're mostly welcome to join in. So then comes Alberto. Yep. Monica. I'm here. Lovely. Michael. Here. Sandra. Here. Lovely. Robin. I've seen him. And the last would be Marina. Here. Yeah, lovely. So, and I guess you'd be well organized. So we would start videoing you, and so like really 10 minutes, I will wave my card. And sorry for making it a little bit of a race, but we're short of time, I wouldn't want to make the best of it. Okay, let's give some applause for the speakers, they're very brave. And now Antara would be the first, which is a double challenge. Okay, there you go.
All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Antara Potvunen, postdoctoral scientist and open innovation teacher from Lappeenranta University of Technology. So what I'm bringing you today is, as like Anna said in the start, we're the craftsmen of teaching. So I'm going to bring you my best crafts, simmered down into a few design rules which were picked from the classroom. So mind you, not all of this was known beforehand. So the way we did it is that I set up 6 ECTS points, master's level course on open innovation, specifically on open innovation, not innovation management in general. That was the prerequisite. So it is so far, I guess, still the only one in the northern countries in Scandinavia that has a dedicated course on open innovation. And this all started from personal interest. I was not pushed by an organization. I was interested in open innovation. I was interested in trying new things pedagogically, and I wanted to combine this. So, what I bring you, 5 design rules. First, and most important, this is my personal philosophy, which I've found through the years, social interaction is king. Social interaction is the means by which students, people, professionals, all of them, actually process, assimilate the knowledge. To bring information to knowledge, there is no other means that is more powerful than social interaction. This implies, in terms of teaching, that you have to get people to talk. It's not enough to have them sit at a lecture like you're doing now. It's not enough to have them do a homework and exercises. You have to get people to spontaneously comment, spontaneously discuss, and keep the atmosphere open as it happens. And one of the things that I do for this is I've gotten rid of all the classical individual assessment practices, and all of my assessment is based on group exams and participating in discussions. So when you're working with open innovation, you can really not accomplish anything alone. Secondly, what I found, this was the result of the pedagogical course. I actually found out that if I try to get people to think, force people to think outside of just remembering what are the concepts, what does open innovation mean, how did I draw the funnel, was it from left to right or right to left, you have to involve conversion. Conversion from text, conversion from words into pictures, which is what we do as an exercise in the course. One of the exercises, which is depicted back there, is actually giving an example. Something I give the students to do is give them a hidden word. And can you guess what the hidden word is, which resulted in this picture? It's obvious, it's crowdsourcing, right? So we play an entirely silent version of Pictionary as a way to force people to convert the words into concepts in their mind, to assimilate it and reproduce it without using letters, words, and formulas and tables. Likewise, we do the same by using drama, having them come to me while I'm portraying to be a CEO, a very caricature CEO that is only bottom line oriented, that is only distracted by how to make a profit and make do in the world, and they have to come in as a junior employee and pitch the idea of utilizing open innovation to actually bring the company to the next level. And that also forces them to think on how you can pitch it, how you can sell it, what is the real value behind open innovation. Value. Value is the third one. Sticking to value, what is valuable for learning? It is not what is valuable for getting through the amount of content in your textbook or getting through the bunch of slides that you've prepared. What is valuable for the students in order to promote their learning? That's the key. Everything else needs to be stripped away from the course. You can dump anything else except the social interaction and the thoughts that will actually simmer inside each of the students while they form their own personal view on open innovation, which is coming from their life experience and the connection of that to the theory and the exercises and the practices that we teach. And on top of value, you can keep something else, which is fun. So you need fun, like we learned earlier on from Jasper Roos. You need fun because fun is the universal catalyst for learning. Fourthly, communication. And now communication not in the classical sense, but in an expanded sense. For instance, if you have an exam, if you have an exercise that you evaluate, that's a means to communicate what you value, what they should know. So actually what you test is what they see as important. And you have to understand that also the importance of evaluating some exercises or assessments is not to actually rank the students and give and put them in any order. The fact is to give them feedback on which things they're doing good and which things they could improve yet. So this means that feedback is often more important than the actual exercise that they did. Also, this comes true 2 times in the group exams, because the group exams are really tests of communication. I will always put the group exam questions in such a way that you cannot answer them directly. They are always very applied. And when you have students from diverse backgrounds, when they come together, they have to form a common opinion. They have to form a common understanding, a shared vision of what open innovation can be for that specific group and how to communicate together. So to get this cross-functional type of skill embedded into the students at the early stage. Finally, the 5th practice, which is equally important as all the previous ones, be human. This means that you cannot say that, trust me, I'm an academic, I researched this for 20 years. If you get in a person who's been in business for 30 years doing open innovation, allow them to speak. Understand the human side of teaching. Understand that if everybody's tired, if it's Wednesday afternoon, they're starting to sleep, don't force them to do things that don't fit with that. That's when you need to give them some stimulus. That's when you need to give them something fun to do. When you need to get them to discuss. And go with the flow. Don't resort back to actually doing the same thing over and over again, but be mindful of what your audience is telling you, what your students are telling you, and treat them as equals, finally. Even if they're just bachelor level students or master level students, or if they're senior executives who have very standardized worldview brought by experience, still treat them as equals. Really listen to what they say, and don't try to think about counter arguments before you actually listen to what they have to say. So in concluding all of this, the reasons for the 5 practices. For social interaction, it's really going for a deeper version of learning. It's going beyond information to knowledge, beyond learning the concepts to actually being ready to apply them. Conversion is about forcing thought. Conversion is about lifting the information to a higher level of processing. And value, sticking with value, always removing what is unnecessary. If you have 3 words in your slides which are unnecessary, delete them. Always think about what is the added value of putting yet another picture, yet another concept, yet another bullet point on a slide. And be relentless in renewing and cutting down what you don't need. Communication is to signal progress. Continuous assessment is one of the keystones of my teaching experience. I actually built the course, it really was, this might sound harsh, but one of the original goals in building the course was to enable a high dropout rate. Now this may sound counterintuitive, but actually using continuous assessment allows people who find out that open innovation is just not really what they wanted it to be, what they really don't actually end up needing, they can drop out and they can do it easily, and they get the signal of whether they're learning like they want to be learning early on. Also, they get a signal of how they should adjust their thinking, on which areas should they improve. They get it early on. So actually starting from the very second lecture on the whole course, there's continuous assessment. They get every week, they get feedback on how they are doing, and that feedback goes directly to the end. And finally, be human, because most of your students are as well. So overall, I only teach 2 things in the open innovation as formal learning outcomes that are listed in the syllabus. One of them is to understand open innovation on a personal way, so make sense of the theory. And the second one is to be able to identify it as it happens, so that when students read news, when students read press releases of companies, they can see that why they're collaborating, what they get out of it, and is it truly a new age of open innovation for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Antoine. So really, thank thanks for exchanging your experience and being so specific. Don't get lost, don't get scared. It's all will be on the website, and you could follow up with what Andrew was trying to really pitch, to do elevator speech within 10 minutes. So the beauty of our project is that it is 52 organizations from 35 countries. So, and now we're going over to Switzerland to Catherine, sharing her experience from teaching in Geneva Business School. So the floor is yours for another 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Anna, for your introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Catherine Ekwe. I'm a management accounting professor, so I'm very pleased to be in a chartered accountant house. As you know, accountants can be very innovative, but I'm not sure it's a good thing, but this is the way it is. And I'm from the Haute École de Gestion de Genève, of Geneva, which is one of the two main business schools in Geneva. And I'm also the Dean of the BA Business Administration Department, and one of my main missions is to introduce innovation and open innovation in our programs. So, only 2 words about my university, because we are a university of applied science, and we are a professional university, and we want to bring professional skills to our students. And we are the largest university in Switzerland in terms of number of students, and we regroup many different schools, and it will be useful because I will also present the program of other schools. So we have 7 departments, and I'm from the Business Management and Services departments. I've chosen to present 4 examples of innovation, more open innovation programs, 3 bachelor's programs, and 1 master programs, which is a new one, which will begin in September 2015. So it's the future for us. This slide summarizes my presentation, and I will present the context and the highlight of each of these programs after. You have the name of each person which is in charge of each program on these slides. I think we can. Will you share the slides? Yeah. Okay. Then the first course is Innovation and Entrepreneurship. This is for students of Business Administration in the final year of bachelor's. And the learning objectives is only to give them the first approach of what innovation is. It's only 1 hour per week in 1 semester. It's not a lot. But the highlight is that we will work with case studies, and we make the students collaborate with alumni of our school and with the Geneva government in order to find innovative solution for sustainable Geneva. Then a second course is called International Innovation Management. This is also a final year course for bachelor students, and it's the first highlight is that we will mix, and we will see it's also the case in the master, we will mix different kind of students. We have engineers students and bachelor administration students. And the learning objective is to give them a toolbox how to innovate in the company. We work on case study, and I think if I will be a student, I will like to be a student, I will choose this course. This is a minor option because the final 2 weeks are in San Francisco in order to immerse in innovation made in the United States. I will love this course. Then the third example is from the IT department of the Geneva Business School. It's a digital identity and e-reputation, and the aim of this course is to work with social media and to be integrated with social media. This is the student target are IT students only, and the case study is to aid, to help us company which is in difficulty with social tools. Then the last one is a master program with 90 SCTS, and the whole program is based on innovation. It's called Interdisciplinary Innovation for Product and Business Development, and the highlight is that we will make collaborate different kind of students again. It will be for engineers, for business administration students, and also for designer students. So it's not really easy to teach with these different kind of students, but the aim is to do them collaborate and help themselves and particularly to speak correctly, to innovate. So we will also work with company, and each group of street students, engineer, designer, and business administration students will have to take a new product and new services with the company and to develop from the idea since its market launch. You understand that the highlight are it's an interdisciplinary program, and it's a project-based learning program. So we will not teach traditionally, but we will learning by doing. And we will also develop professional, methodological, and social skills. So, thank you for your attention. If you have a question, maybe at the end.
So next to present will be Alberto from Italy. So from Finland via Switzerland, we go to Italy and see what the best practices they have here. There.
Yes, thank you. Right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alberto Rimini. I come from Scuola Sant'Anna in Italy. It is a pleasure to be here. What I would like to showcase you in the next 10 minutes or so is a project that we coordinated from Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna in Pisa under the auspices of Intel Corporation. And I think this is the end of a nice exercise that we conducted. It started a few years ago. Basically, two projects merged as I was coordinating for Italy the Intel Global Business Challenge Competition, one of the oldest business plan competition created by Intel Capital some 15 or 20 years ago, and at the same time I was teaching a course called High Tech Business Venturing, which was thought for engineers. In Sant'Anna we have a very strong PhD program in engineering, and the idea was to provide PhD students with the skills and tools to get started on entrepreneurship. So kind of like giving them the basics of open innovation, but not only. So the idea that okay, you are in your lab, but once a week you come to me, and here's the blue pill and here's the red pill. Take the red pill and follow the rabbit down the hole to see. There is a different language that you can speak, and something that you do in your lab might have a relevance from a business perspective. Intel at the same time developed a lot of activities with and for universities, but they were lamenting only from a US perspective. And that's also the spirit, I think, of this workshop of open innovation and the network that we are part of, is to have a European perspective on some of these topics that we are kind of like mimicking somehow with jargon and elements that are relevant to an ecosystem that is not a European ecosystem. So what Intel has done was to help us create a network of 5 universities that separately had developed courses and activities for PhD students and master students in tech business venture. And so together with Scuola Sant'Anna, we have the Catholic University in Leuven in Belgium, then University of Southern Denmark, University of Twente in the Netherlands, and the Technology University in Munich. And together what we did was to create, was to continue to work on 5 different courses with 5 different syllabi, but then trying to combine our activities together, to share best practice, to share material, slides, teaching methodologies, and combining them in a new way. And the result is all represented now. This is the first time actually that we're showing this outside the network. This is the website that we are creating to combine all the syllabi, all the materials. So you navigate with website, what you find is basically, but this is still provisionary, but the idea is to have the various modules that individual universities have used to organize their teaching. And what happens is that for each university you have the slides that the university used, for example, to introduce the innovation management and divided by university and so on and so forth. And so the goal of Intel was to first of all allow us to do better teaching activity and to share our practice, and also for someone that is entering in this on this website is to gather information on not only on the partners that are taking part, because of course this offers a very nice visibility also for us, so that we are very pleased to be here on this website, but also to look at the syllabi that we used to kind of like have an idea, for example, on what was the approach that the various schools have used in teaching the class, and take a look at the most updated readings and exercises that we did. And as we are closing the first phase of this project, which is now nearing the end, because the end of the first phase will be indeed to finalize this website that you can see is a little bit still. I'm trying to move around, and it still requires some work. The second phase will open. So now 1 second, let me go back to the second phase will open, and the idea is to enlarge this network and to tell our colleagues in other universities that the 5 of us has started something. We got the support of Intel to do this. We are testing this on Intel employees and people within the Intel network, but the goal is to spread and engage other universities that are interested into this exercise teaching masters and PhD students, high-tech business venturing, creating, the goal would be not also to create a common classroom within Europe that is taking students, engaging students in activities that happen in the individual universities. So far this was not possible because the first thing was to understand each other, to understand each individual teaching style. After that we have done this, the idea is really to create, for example, team projects that for which we have team members from other universities. Okay, so this is also an idea for the Open Innovation Network as an approach on how we can do things. This was a project that was completed in less than 1 year. So in less than 1 year we did the first meetings, we agreed on the various modules. Each university developed this course individually, and then we looked for elements of convergence. And of course, I'm making a very, a complex story, very simple, but it was not that much work in terms of coordination. It was not really much. And then each university developed this course, conducted this course, and then the material was collected and shared online. So this is my story basically, and I'll be happy to take nominations and ideas for universities that want to join.